on getting the run done, completing the overall, which is just to get it done. Now, knowledge of instruction, modeling, I showed her the video of Safan Hussein's Hassan's Olympic run shown prior to demonstrate proper running form. Guidance and verbal cues were not used. I caught her at the tail end of her 2.5 miles. Yeah, I didn't find that verbal cues would have aided because I wasn't with her the entire run. Now for the observational approach, I chose the James and Dufek system because it broke it up in 3 phases, and the critical skills have already been identified. But the phases were initial foot contact, mid-strike, and take off. It was better for me to look at the phases because it can better distinguish what she needs work on and what she can continue doing, what she can improve on. So as I said, visual observation was taken through videos and photos. Stills were obtained from Dartfish. No keywords or guidance. Anterior and side views were obtained. I didn't find that it was necessary to get a posterior view of the run. And all views were taken from an 8-foot distance and a 5-foot height. That way I could get her entire body in there and observe everything. 5, observation of the motion was had. So I followed her from different points of her, of the tail end of her 2.5 miles. Now, for the environment, it was 85 degrees. We wanted to go shortly after sunset, so it wouldn't be too hot and it wouldn't be so many people there. But unfortunately, we live in Tampa and the Riverwalk is known for people, so there was some people in one of the videos that you're about to see. And here we have the initial foot contact, mid-strike, and take off. So for the initial foot contact here, you see with her left foot, she has it planted in her mid-stride where it looks like she's floating there, and again with the takeoff. All right, let us play this here. I viewed all of these in 2.5 just because you can see everything a little bit better, and Dartfish definitely helped as far as like getting like the stills. So here we're able to see her gait, the angle of her knees, as well as her elbows. And you got to see some of her upright posture there. Let's move on. And for this one here, now I wanted to get the anterior view because I wanted to see her shoulder mobility. I feel like I could better see it this way. Now here you can see that her shoulders aren't really mobile, her arms are very to her side, and the angle of her elbows is not 90 degrees. All right, I found it important to get a video of her foot strike, just so I can see if she's doing heel toe, if she's just mainly on the balls of her foot, mainly on the heels of her foot, and here is just a quick glance of that as well. Now, extended observations were made with Dartfish. All of these videos were taken and viewed in slow-mo of 2.5, so we can just look at everything just a little bit more. It was a great way to look at the specific features of the movement. Now, the process of evaluation, both mind eye image and mechanical method was used simultaneously. I wanted to compare what each phase was supposed to look like versus what actually happened while applying the biomechanic principles to correct her errors. And some of the strengths and weaknesses that I found was her strengths were her foot strengths were very strong. Her upright posture was definitely present, but she didn't have enough arm swing. There was a lot of lack of shoulder mobility, and the stride could have been just a tad bit longer had she increased the angle of her knee. And just going into that a little bit more, how she could have helped that, stretching as well as strengthening exercises, shoulder mobility would have definitely been increased, thus aiding in the arm swing. Now, long strides could be gained by HIIT or explosive workouts, getting some power in the legs, strengthening the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings would have definitely helped as well. And I just go into that just a tad bit more, emphasizing that point. Increasing the bend at her knee and practicing strengthening exercises of the glute and hamstrings would have definitely helped her movements. And then throughout the run, she kept her arms relatively close to her trunk versus extending the arms for an asymmetrical swing. That would have aided in her balance and coordination as well. I feel like that would have increased it just a tad bit more. Now for the physical rehearsal, part practice was utilized through guidance and demonstrations prior to the run. We went over the importance of breathing and how you should be breathing during the run, the different foot strikes to optimize stride, heel toe versus just on the balls of her foot. She's a previous track athlete, a sprinter to be exact. So I found that sometimes she was trying to run on the balls of her foot, but just heavy emphasizing heel toe, just to reduce muscle fatigue and optimize the stride. We did go over arm swing, old habits die hard, and that's just something that she has to continue to practice on, and her upright posture. Mental imagery of her performing the run was used. She stated that during her previous runs, positive self-talk did help, and after the run, I asked her, what methods of self-talk did she use, and she said phrases like, just focus on my breathing, I got this, keep going, I'm almost finished, did help boost her confidence and motivate her to finish the run. Practice structure. Constant practice would be optimal in this activity. Again, old habits do die hard, and you just have to continue to reinforce the features that we talked about for a better run. Varied practice was utilized. Different versions of foot strikes were used prior, just to see which variation would work best, and we did decide that heel toe would be the best bet. Now, in augmented feedback, we have knowledge of performance and a knowledge of results. Knowledge of performance is more like motivation, how well or how poor the movement was. But the knowledge of results I found to be the best way. That way she can physically see what she did and how she can correct it in the future. The visual feedback was used so she can see the errors made and correct it accordingly with verbal guidance following the run. That was some relevant intrinsic information. And these are some references that I looked at for this project. I do just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to turn this in late. And thank you for understanding my plight as a soldier. I greatly appreciate it. Have a good day.